Welcome to CSC 121. This is a little Python function review from Chapter 6 of How to Think Like a Computer Scientist, with just some examples to look at how functions work, how they flow, and we're going to look at the flow of execution. And here's a very simple example, much like the ones we looked at in some of our exercises, and I have little comments in here to help us. But what's happening in here, there's a global variable that says x equals 2. Then there's a function definition that's square num. And it says y equals x times x. And then there's a function call. And it says, how would you print the value of y? Well, in this one, you would basically either have to print y inside the function, and then you would call the function and it would print out y. So you could have print y on the line after y equals x times x. That's one way. Or you could return y. If you returned y, then you could print out the fruit of the function. You could do something like result equals square num, and you could print out the result, and then you'd be printing out the fruit of the function. You'd be printing out whatever is returned through y. So there's two ways to do that, and that's how you take care of that. On this one, now we're showing the return y here. We still have the global variable, and we still have the square num function. We have y equals x times x. I know you're tired of seeing this one. And it says return y. So we're getting fruit from it, and this is exactly what I was talking about. This was the second way that we could have done that with the first example. We're holding whatever's being returned from the function as a variable called result, then it's calling the function, it's returning y, and it's still using 2. It's using 2 because we had to declare x as a global variable. So it's throwing 2 in there and doing 2 times 2 is 4. And then the result is going to be 4. So instead of assigning x equals 2 as a global variable, how else can the value be sent to the function? And if you remember, we can put 2 in as an argument. Instead of using a global variable, we could put 2 in the parentheses for square num when the function is called, and then we could put x up in the function definition up there so that it gets called on the fly. The value gets inserted when the function is called. And that's by using an argument down here and using a parameter up there. You could use 2 or 3 or whatever down there, and then you're just holding it as x. The function is telling you that x is going to be whatever you send to it through the function call and through the argument and the function call. And then it's still going to print out the same way. It's still going to print out the fruit from that function. So the answer to that would be with an argument and a parameter. Now in this one, it's just saying what line is the parameter, which line is the argument. Now by now, you should see that the argument is on line 38, that's the 2, and the parameter is the x on line 34, and that's what we were talking about in the previous slide. And we're still doing it the same way. And on this one, we have 2 arguments and 2 parameters. It says how many parameters, how many arguments? Well, it's pretty obvious. On line 48, we have 2 arguments, 2 and 4, and on line 44, we have 2 parameters, x and power. And they're matching up so that x is going to be 2 and power is going to be 4. So when it runs the calculation inside the function, it's going to say y equals 2 to the 4th power, and it's going to return y, which should be 16. So the result, which holds the function fruit, is going to be 16. So then when you print result, it's going to print out 16. So the output would be 16. On this last one, it's an accumulator function, and it's squaring a number, and it's using an old-fashioned way of squaring the number by adding them up as many times as the number, kind of like the way you would learn it when you were in grade school. And there's a function called square, and it's taking a parameter of x. So that means we're going to have to get something to put in there, because there's nothing in there. If you look at the function, it says running total equals 0, and then there's a loop, and it says in range x. So the same number is going to go in there, so whatever number you pass to it as an argument is going to be in the range, and then it says running total equals running total plus x. So it's going to be, running total is basically going to be incrementing whatever x is each time, that many times. There's x times, and it's going to be adding, so it's going to be 10 times. That's how you're going to get 100. So I just gave away the answer, but you can see it has return running total, so we're still returning a value from the function. And down at the bottom, there's a couple things here. It says what line is the function call on? And the function call is on line 9. It says square result equals square to square. Now there's not an actual argument. There is an argument, but it's a variable that's waiting for the argument. 2 square is the argument, and it's going to be 10. There's just a variable, a global variable in front of it that's using 2 square equals 10. So it's still going to send 10. So it's going to send 10, and 10 is going to run through the function, and it's going to run through that counter 10 times and add to itself 10 times and get to 100. And it's going to return 100. Just like if you ran 4 through there 4 times, it's going to add up 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 and get 16. And it also says, what is the purpose of the two square and square result global variables? Well, the two square, it just says equals 10, so I'm not sure what it is. You could just as easy put 10 as the argument. But if you notice, two square is also showing up in a print statement. So sometimes putting variables in a print statement is easier than putting numbers in a print statement, because then you have to worry about putting integers in a print statement. So putting variables mixed with strings isn't as hard as sometimes putting integers in there. So it's using that. And then it says, what's the purpose of the square result global variable? So the square result has two purposes. One, it's holding the value of the fruit of square. So whatever's going to come out of square, which is return running total, will be 100 in this case. So it's holding that, and then you're going to print that, but it's also printing out as part of a string. So it has two purposes. One, it's just kind of holding the function calls fruit. The other is that it's using that as part of a string that you're printing out. Now this has commas here. I would probably use F strings, but I think in the How to Think Like a Computer Scientist book, it's a little bit older. They don't always use F strings in there, but they have dual purposes. They're being used as variables inside a print statement, and they're also holding the fruit of the function and also just passing a value over. So if you wanted to change this to be 5, like the two square area, if you wanted to change that to be 5, that would pass 5 in, and then it would basically run through that function and add 5 times and get 25. So it's just a more labor-intensive way of doing a square instead of using the times or just timesing it by itself. So the final return value of this one would be 100, like we said, and whatever number would change in there, it would just be the square of that number. So it's doing the same thing in just a little bit more detailed kind of fashion. So I just wanted to point that out, that sometimes the variables are being used, not to make extra work, but so that it works when it prints out in a statement. It's just easier to throw variables in a print statement than it is to put function calls and things like that in numbers sometimes.